George, how are you using technology in your business right now?
Yeah, so I try to use as much as possible. So for our general project management, we use Builder. I found that massively helpful for our schedules. Um, our guys do their daily diaries on there. We have our client portal on there. We haven't optimized it to its full potential. Yet, but that is something we are working on. We have an accounting system called Zero. So I think it's similar to QuickBooks, but it's a cloud-based accounting system that ultimately will tie into Builder Trend once we get it set up properly.
Back
So that's
back to Builder Trend. What is your top pro of using Builder Trend and your top con or positive and negative?
Yeah. My favorite thing is the scheduling. I know it sounds simple, but it has been massively important. Being able to put that on a cloud-based system and have a Gantt chart that every item you can link into each other. Our trades, the bulk of our trades are tied into it. So let's say we have an electrician booked for a rough-in to run the wiring in a house. And we have it set up that it'll notify them 3 days beforehand. Or if we change a schedule, it'll notify them saying, hey, we've moved it from Monday to Thursday, just making you aware of it. So it'll do that automatically. That's been massive to help with organization, but also to make sure, it saves me time getting on the phone to my electrician to say, hey, we're moving it. So that's
Yeah.
a big time saver.
Is it a challenge to get everybody on board?
It is, yeah. Some of the trades are more old school, and they're not tech savvy.
Yeah.
So some of the guys are not on it. Some of my renderers, my plasterers are not on it. So you still have to get on the phone and say, hey, this is the plan. But at least you have it in front of you, and all the team have it in front of them as well. So my guys on site have that in front of them. They know what's upcoming. They can see the timeline of the project. So that's been massive. Um, and kind of jumping back to the project management and having your finger on the pulse. My site supervisor on each job site, I make sure it's a requirement that at the end of every day they put a minimum of 4 photos up, and a description of what's been done, who's been on site, weather conditions. So then we have a record, but also I can see what's been done, and because you can't be everywhere at the one time, so I can see pictures and I can say, oh look, maybe we do this slightly differently, or look, that's been done really well. I like what you've done there, and you
Did
can
you
start that
say
conversation.
those 4 photos are per employee or per project?
Per project. Yeah.
Okay.
So depending on this, it's the site supervisor of each project
Okay.
will do that.
And
Yeah.
then along with any notes they might have and things like that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Any discussions that have been had on site, let's say sometimes the site supervisor will meet the client and they do, a bit of pencil sketching on a wall, and they'll take a picture of that sketch, for a specific detail, and they'll put that picture up on Builder Trend. So
Cool.
then we all know this is what was discussed. We've sketched up this little detail on a brick wall. This is the route we're going with it.
Nice. So what
So it's
would
all
be
about
something
communication.
that Builder Trend does not do well that you wish it did?
Yeah. So look, an element that we don't, I don't know how well it works, to be honest. We haven't put it into place, but the job tracking, as in the budget tracking, we haven't got that fully set up. We work slightly differently. A lot of our projects are done on a cost plus system. So it's slightly differently. We bill weekly and we track all the costs weekly, but I don't think Builder Trend is really set up for that.
Hmm.
For our system anyway. It might suit some people, but not us at the moment anyway.
Okay. Appreciate that. And some of our listeners might think that we are promoting Builder Trend, but we're not. It just so happens that
No.
over the past few interviews, everybody's using it. So I like to ask these
Yeah,
different questions and learn more myself about it, what works and what doesn't.
yeah. Oh, look, it's got, we can put so many more things into play with Builder Trend. It's not a cheap system, but it's been well worth it. It's one of the best things I put into place in the business. Um, and once again, it 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 means that we have a platform that we're all on the same page, so that there's less issues as we progress through the project. So it
Mm-hmm.
really, like, everything kind of ties in together. You know, these kind of things, the systems you put in place will help you to have less issues, which will mean less stress, which will mean more personal time. You know, it all ties in together, um, which is why the
Well,
systems are so
I
important.
like less stress and more personal time.
Absolutely, don't we all? Yeah.
So you've talked about Builder Trend and Zero. What other tech do
Yeah.
you use?
Yeah. So because we're a team of 10, I've started recently using a scheduling app called When I Work. Um, that is basically, it's a roster sheet, basically. So I have all my team signed up to it, and I can roster the guys for certain days on certain jobs without having to call them or text them. And I know from week to week where I plan to have them. It'll always change slightly, but it means I can plan ahead, and they can just look at their app and go, right, I'm on this job site for 3 days or 5 days or 4 weeks, whatever it is. So that's been a good thing, once again, for the communication side of things. Uh, I suppose apps, other good apps that I found, I don't know if you have it in the States, but I use one called Sherpa. So what it is, it's um, it's kind of like a courier service. It's like the Uber. You have Uber in the States,
Yeah.
the Lyft rideshare. Yeah. So it's like the Uber of couriers. So you can't send, they can't pick up timber and stuff, but they can pick up, if I need to send up 10 rolls of G tape joist protection to the guys on site and I'm in the office an hour away, then I can get on the app. I can say, this is what I need delivered. I need it delivered within 2 hours and pick it up. And it might be $30. Whereas, my time is worth far more than that. So I
Wow.
just punch it in the app and they'll
So
get it up within the
let's back
designated
up.
time.
The name comes from the Himalayan Sherpas, right?
Yeah.
They pack all your
Yeah.
goods up so you can climb Mount Everest. But
Correct.
this is it's an actual service that there are
Yeah.
people out there driving around,
Yeah.
and you just get on
Yeah.
and you make your order. And is it pretty quick?
It's very quick. So, you can, it's all, it's not a long-term courier service. It's basically everything has to be either delivered. You choose either 2 hours, 4 hours, or the same day delivery. So there are your three options. Obviously, the more expensive option is the 2 hour delivery window, then less expensive 4 hours. And if you're not too fussed, it's the same day. So a lot of people use it for documents and paperwork, which I do sometimes. I send up the guys a set of plans that they need, print it off, send it up
So,
to them.
like, what would that
Maybe.
come down to as far as, you know what I mean? Like, one of your guys, let's say you're paying him, I don't know, $20 an hour, or whatever it is
Yeah,
that you're paying him, and he could run back, get those plans, and back to the job, and you'd pay him $40. Is it gonna on Sherpa? Is it less than that, or
it'd
like
be
how?
half, pretty much half. Yeah,
So it's
because you
wow.
know it's significant. Yeah, because my guys have to, even things like, we need to purchase something small from a supplier, a box of masking tape or something like that. I say, right, my guys have to stop what they're doing,
Hmm.
jump in the truck, battle traffic, uh, and traffic in Sydney is terrible. Um, wait to pick up the stuff, hop back in and drive back, find a parking space. Whereas, I might pay them 2 or 3 hours worth of wages or my own time, and it might cost me a third or half the cost on the Sherpa.
Plus the like you said, the
It's awesome.
lost job time or the lost time
Yeah,
at work. That is really
yeah,
interesting.
it is
I'm gonna have to look
awesome.
that
I
up.
use it. Yeah, so if there's not one in the States, might inspire someone in the States to start it because it's so good. Um, So that's been a big help. Once again, it's kind of delegating tasks, I suppose. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
you're delegating the tasks that really aren't, it's not, it's a driving task essentially. So it's not massively skilled. It's someone with a car. Um, I suppose other technology we use, we have House, we have LinkedIn that I'll be pushing a bit more this year. Um, and then Instagram really has been the big thing for us. I wouldn't be talking to you now without, without being on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Just the community that's on Instagram is awesome. I've connected with other builders in Sydney. I've met other builders in Sydney that I would never have met, and we chat, we help each other out. Right, my concreters let me down, or I need a good renderer. Do you have a guy you can recommend to me? Or I'm really stressed. This thing has happened. So you connect with people, other builders, other local trades. You find good local trades, and then worldwide. I'm talking to you now. You're in the States, and we found each other on Instagram. Guys like Nick, NS Builders, John Howrahan, Tyler, all those guys. You get inspiration and you learn about new products and how people are doing things differently in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's huge.
It is. That I think that's so awesome, man. I mean, and it's changed because 10 years ago there was Facebook, but 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I mean, wow. To know somebody in Australia or in Europe or whatever, you may be one person, but
Yeah,
how would you communicate? And it's
it's
really,
crazy.
really
Yeah,
changed. Now, are
and
you getting any local leads because of your Instagram presence?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not we're not getting them weekly, but we have gotten some good leads, and not only good leads but good connections. So we've connected with architects, designers, um, those kind of referral partners that kind of lead to a long-term relationship that you will get leads from. So we have gotten a couple of big jobs from that route, essentially. I've actually never, I don't think we've won a job directly from a client. I have quoted one or two, but we didn't actually win those projects direct contact. But we've won a couple of bigger jobs by meeting a designer architect through Instagram and them then referring us. So that's been massive. Instagram, our clients love Instagram because if they're not, a bigger project, they're not going to be living on site, and so they're only going to be visiting once a week, let's say. So I try and get the daily stories as much as I can, and they love it because they'll follow that and they'll get their friends to follow it. Look at where our bathroom is now, or look at all the demolition has been done. Look at or the tiling is being done. Whatever stage it's at, they love it. They love following this stuff day to day, and they can see what's happening in their house.
Yeah. When it comes to marketing your business, we're talking about that on Instagram, but are there any other ways that you are finding that works really well as far as marketing goes?
Yeah, so look, we've tried loads of different things. Obviously, the best is word of mouth. You can't beat it.
Sure.
When we started up, I used to do leaflet drops and things like that, but they're really, it's really widespread, and you might get a few calls from it. And I have won good jobs from it before in your local area. I've won big jobs from it before, but a lot of them get thrown in the bin.
Yep.
What I started doing last year, I joined the BNI network.
How's that work for
So I'm
you?
doing that. It's good. I've only been signed up to it for about 4 months, but I found it quite valuable. I haven't won any work through it. That takes time because you need to build the relationships with the other people in the network. But I found very valuable from a business point of view. I found it very valuable because you meet specialists in other industries that can be very valuable to you in your business. And so that's been great. I'm sure there will be referrals to clients. In fact, I'm actually meeting an architect this week as a referral through BNI. So that I think that will help. But once again, coming back to Instagram, I reach out and I touch base with designers and I like their pictures and I might send them a message saying, love what you're doing, be great to catch up sometime for a coffee. I think networking is really important
Mm-hmm.
for those ongoing referrals and those ongoing leads. Um, Facebook, I've done some Facebook advertising, but I haven't gotten any leads through it. Um, that which is my own fault. I haven't been doing it, I think, the right way. It is something we're going to focus on more this year, um, and take some tips, I think, from Gary V. To smash Facebook advertising. I know he hypes it up a lot. So that is something I need to explore more this year. But we're mainly counting on referrals from designers and architects at the moment, which
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, for sure.